All right, guys, thanks for sticking along with me for that little bit where we took the measurements. Now that we're back in front of the computer, we're going to be able to take those measurements and put them in my calculator. And as we start filling that out, we're going to be able to see the square footage increase and also the amount of yards that we need for that mulch estimate. Got the measurements right here, and now I'm going to show you what you need to do next. All right. So when you're watching this video, I'll leave a link down in the description below of the mulching calculator, and I'll make it as a template. We'll change it to 50 so you guys can see the whole thing. Actually, we'll do 75. First thing you're going to want to do is come up here and type make a copy. Name it whatever you guys want. The reason why you're going to do this is because if when I share this link in the description, whoever clicks on this link and just edits this as it is, if someone maybe 10 minutes from now does the same thing, all of your work will be erased. So you need to make a copy. You need to save it to your own drive. So that way, what you have won't be affected by what someone else decides to do. So now that we do that, it's going to open it up in a new tab. We'll do 75% again. And this is where we're just going to go down the list of the measurements that we took and start filling this out. So as I start doing this, pay attention to all the numbers that are starting to populate in all of the different columns. Now, when I was taking my measurements, I came across, stuff that said like 12 feet and 5 inches or 12 feet and 3 inches. We're going to need to convert those 3 inches into decimal form. So I'll also leave a link in the description of a site that I used where you can enter in your inches, and it'll actually take out a decimal number, and then that's what we're going to be putting in. So my first measurement is 24 feet and 3 inches. So if we want to know what 3 inches is in decimal, we just type 3, so it's 0.25. So in our length, we're going to do 24.25. Then next is 20 feet and 10 inches. So that's 8.3. So we're going to do 20.83. So when I clicked the next box, you immediately saw the square footage of that area. And if you look over here on the right, if that was all we needed, this is going to show you how much mulch you need. For a 1 inch depth, you're going to need 1.6. I always bump up to the nearest half. So if it's 1.6, I would do my estimate at 2 yards. 2.3, I would do 2.5. 3.1, I would do 3.5. So now I'm going to start doing all of the other measurements that I took. I probably won't talk during this part, but you can just see as I am punching these in, you'll be able to see those numbers get bigger and bigger. All right, guys. So now that I have punched in all of my dimensions, when I was going back and thinking about the measurements that I actually took on this property, there was a little section that I forgot to measure. So what I'm going to do is actually add half a yard onto that. So I'm going to need 4.5. But like I said, I'm going to round that up to 5 yards. That's actually what I quoted this customer at 5 yards at $135 installed. And I think that was about $675. So now that we have all of our measurements taken, you can see these numbers on the right. to where if you only need a 1 inch depth or 1.5 inch depth, that's actually what I did for this customer. And then you have the 2 inch depth. You also have a area for circular planters. Like if there's a tree in the middle of the yard and you need to put mulch in there, you would just take the radius of that. Don't forget to measure it, and you take the radius of it, and then you just type in how many feet right here, and then that would add it onto the amount that you need for the mulch. So with this mulching calculator, I actually spent a lot of time researching how to do the calculations for cubic yardage. So all of these formulas in here are I've taken a lot of time to actually go through and come up with these formulations to create this spreadsheet. It's easy to take measurements, and with this, it's going to be easy to know how many cubic yards you need. And you just take that cubic yardage amount and multiply it by your install rate, whether that's $100 or $115. Like I said, mine is $135 installed. And all of that includes my time to actually go take the measurements, to sit in front of the computer and populate this calculator. And it also includes me going and picking up the mulch. I've done about 7 mulch installs since the beginning of my company in 2020. And I've used this on every single one, and I've been spot on every single mulch install that I've done, especially that 21-yard mulch install that I did a few videos back, which I'll link to up here somewhere. But I took measurements exactly how I did at the beginning of this video and entered them in on a spreadsheet like this and came up with, I think it was like 20.2 yards. And since it was such a big project, I bumped it up to 21 yards just to make sure that I did have enough. Because the last thing you want is to be short and there might be a spot where you're not going to be able to cover. So you either have to stop what you're doing and go pick up more mulch, which if you're like me and you do mulch installs typically on the weekend, your mulch supplier might not be open. And also, if you need more yardage, it's not going to feel real good if you have to go back to the customer and say, yeah, I need $60 more, or I need $100 more, or I need $135 more because I need 1 more yard of mulch. When you create that estimate, it is technically an estimate and that's not the final price. But if you're able to use this calculator and come up with an exact amount that you need, you can send that off to the customer and they won't get a sticker shock when they see that instead of 6 yards, you did 7. So that's $100 more or $135 more. I actually just ended up wrapping up this mulch job yesterday. It's Sunday evening right now, and I finished it up on a Saturday, April 23rd. And I got 5 yards and ended up actually using about 4.5. So with that extra added bit that I didn't measure, and I added half a yard, so it was 4.5. I actually ended up having half a yard left over. So it was good on my part to actually bump that up just in case I needed it, but I didn't. So if you guys go check out my Instagram at Lawn Care Ninja, we put up some pictures of the mulch install, and I think it looks really, really good. The way the house looks with bright green grass and deep dark brown mulch, I think looks really, really good. All right, guys, I think that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, leave a like, or even share this video with someone who you think might benefit from something like this. I appreciate you guys watching. Leave a comment down below on how you guys come up with the amount of yards you need for mulch. And also maybe let me know if this is something that you think you guys might use at some point. And don't forget to subscribe for more great videos like this and more vlogs. And click that notification bell so you get notified when I do upload new videos. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you later.